So the Kanban workshop is from prokanban.org. It's called the APK, Applying Professional Kanban. And it's really it's 16 hours of deep exploration of the strategy that is DevOps. So there are other things out there that are actual software processes, right? But the core of Kanban is this strategy that allows you to, or meta process that allows you to monitor any existing process. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Your existing process could be Scrum. Your existing process could be we've made it up as we go along, or your existing process could be Maurice or SSADM or whatever thing your organization's doing. The Kanban strategy would allow you to observe and record what's going on in that process. You're effectively monitoring the flow of work through that system. Thus, then, you're looking at the data, right? Enabling you to continually make tweaks and changes to the system in order to optimize that flow of value, right? So that's really about that delivery piece. How quickly are we able to take an idea that we get and get it all the way into production potentially, so that our customers can use it? But it will model any system. I think that's the key piece for me. Is that it models any system and any part of any system, right? So even if you had a team that's just looking at, their view or their area of control is from when the product owner gives them a feature or the business gives them a feature to when they've sent it off to the operations team, right? That could be one view. So you're looking at the cycle time across these 2 points, doing throughput, work item aging, controlling your WIP at that level. But your business could be looking at a much higher level, right? Instead of individual pieces of value that a team's working on going through the system, your business could look at all of the endeavors that are underway and what is there from when they come up to it, from when it's actually delivered, and what is their throughput, what is their cycle time, what's their current WIP, what's the capability of the organization. And this is especially true in things like professional services, right? Where you've got gigs coming through and you're trying to service them with the people that you've got, and you don't want to end up in that death spiral of, we've got more people, so we need more gigs. And then we've got more gigs, so we need more people. And you end up in a spiral of reduction in quality because you've got to hire people because you need them, not because they're the right people to hire. And that's true for big organizations as well. So this allows you to model the flow of value through any 2 points and really improve the way you work because you're able to monitor what's going on. And that's what the APK, Applying Professional Kanban, is all about. So whether you're a team, right, and you're looking to improve your engineering excellence and shorten the cycle time, get value through your system quicker, or you're doing Scrum, you want to improve throughput on your system, or you're a leadership team and you're looking at the work that's underway across multiple teams, it really doesn't matter what the system is. This is the tool that you need to monitor the data analysis that you need to monitor not just the flow of value through the system, but then look forward into the future and do probabilistic forecasting on what's coming up next. How long do we think things are going to take, and how likely is that to happen, right? If we're thinking in bets and really looking at the data from what we've delivered in the past, if we have a stable system, right? You need a stable system first. Then we can start looking out into the future using effectively some of the same tools that when you see them talking about the weather on TV, right? They say that on Thursday at 3:00 it's going to rain, right? That's their prediction. And then it'll have a percentage likelihood of that to happen. And let's say it's 85% sure that's going to happen. what they've done, and for them it's much more complicated than what we're talking about, much more complicated. They've got these really complex models that model the weather in whatever area you're in, right? And they feed the data from all of history that they've got, plus what's currently happening in the weather, and they feed it into this model, and then they run the simulation thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And what percentage of those simulations does it rain at 3 o'clock on Thursday? Well, 68% of the simulations it rains at 3 o'clock on Thursday. Well, it might rain at 3 o'clock on Thursday, right? It's 65%, if that's the number of simulations, 65% sure it will rain at 3 o'clock on Thursday. And that's the same thing that we can do with our engineering processes, right? We can look at what's our historical delivery. On average, for example, 85% of the time, that's on average, that's the wrong word, but 85% of the time we deliver work in our team, let's say 6 days or less. So I'm 85% sure that any piece of work we take on will be delivered in 8 days or less, right? So we can make that forecast looking into the future and put it into a simulation. And for that, we normally use Monte Carlo, feed some data in, run it 10,000 times. What's the chances of you delivering 10 things in the next sprint, 20 things, 30 things? What's the percentage likelihood that it's going to happen? And then you can have real conversations with your stakeholders, not about what you will and what you won't do, but what is the likelihood of certain outcomes happening, with the clear understanding that there is also, no matter how high in the percentiles you go, right, you never get to 100%. You can get to the 99th percentile, right, but you can never get to 100%, so there's always a chance that something won't happen. And that's a key learning outcome for engaging with stakeholders, for the stakeholders and the teams communicating with them, that we want to be talking in percentages, we want to be talking about probabilities with our stakeholders for whatever it is we're doing. How likely are things to be successful? Just like businesses have always done. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through NKD Agility.